feel like all we know is pain, cause we ain't what you wanted us to be. We go to college, get the scholarships, and put back our own street without the road. I even got some homies round the way. I even went to NC State. I feel like all we know is pain. I feel like all we know is pain. I feel like all we know is pain.
We smile for the camera.
Oh.
But
I was like a senior, like a year, 2 years ago.
it's fucking
Yeah.
shit.
So you sophomores now? Freshman?
Freshman.
Okay, damn, that's a little crazy because like I made that song when I was in school, like in 2016.
No way.
Really?
Yeah. So it's just crazy to see like the turn of events and just kind of time stamp.
Wait,
It was popular.
Yeah, and it's crazy 'cause it started off on SoundCloud, like.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You're right, my fault.
Where are your icons?
On the side, on the right.
Okay, at least plug it in.
Right here, Jay.
Every time I hear that song, I think of
You gotta get a habit of putting your
James
shirt, so
Smith.
at least in the fall,
Jaden Smith?
Yeah, that song Icon.
Oh. Well, obviously.
I'm not fucking dumb, like.
My childhood kind of grew up bouncing around a lot of different states when I was young, doing my pop's job and things like that. But I started picking up music probably like freshman year of high school, and I really started getting into it. Like built a studio in the crib and things like that. Just had a whole bunch of people coming through, so that's probably around the time I started off with it. I started to pursue a career in music probably like the last 3 years for real, because I don't know, I was in school too, just studying school. Like, I bounced around a whole bunch of different schools playing soccer, and then I got to that point where I felt like the music was my real passion and where I wanted to, I don't know, push a bar with it. So I felt like naturally I kind of started to fall into it a little bit. So early for me, like, I'm a real person that's really keen on like detail and things like that. So one of my best projects that I feel like I listened to like crazy was 808s and Heartbreaks from Kanye. So that kind of came out for me when I was in high school, but kind of graduating and things like that. So once I started to dissect that, I started to go back and then started listening to people like Jay-Z, Reasonable Doubt, Lauryn Hill, Miseducation, and then like MTV Unplugged albums from Lauryn and things like that. And it started to really kind of push me in that place where, I don't know, just it gave me that drive that I felt like was necessary that I don't know if I would have got if I was just in any other genre, you feel me?
Yeah.
So for me, it was like the experience for even just going into it. Because like I said, I was in school, like I couldn't put all that I wanted to into music. So for me, it was just going to different shows and performing at different shows throughout the state, sometimes in Greensboro, Raleigh, and then come back to Charlotte and just doing things like that and just bouncing around. I didn't really look for labels to try to sign me or anything like that. I was more so just pushing the music that I had and didn't really know where I could take it like that. So I feel like that was kind of my thing, and then I started to find different ways to push it around to people I knew just online and different schools that I knew, different people I was just rocking with. They had kind of pull at their schools and shit like that. So I don't know, that was kind of my origins.
When you envision someone listening to your song, who's that person?
A lot of times the person that's listening to that song is me. So a lot of times in the music I write and things like that, I use music for me as like my healing process. So a lot of times I have different songs that help me get through a point in my life that I don't know how to get to. So just because I'm so critical of my music, I'll play that song like 50 times in my head, and then I don't know, just be at a point where I'm like, okay, well, because I'm listening to this so much, I know it's going to impact me. And if it's going to impact me and sustain that impact on me, I know it can impact others. So I just push that kind of boundary for myself, and I was pushing the bar to make sure I'm kind of evolving myself through it. You feel me? So
Yeah.
that's kind of my process. I mean, I feel like rap culture right now is very dynamic. The personal message I want to spread is positivity and growth and self-awareness for myself, because I feel like that's been the best thing that's helped me to grow through it. So that's what I take a lot of music for. And I mean, just how diverse it is right now. You got things, if you want to just be on some turn up type shit, you can find that. If you want to be on some more chill shit, you can find that too. So I feel like it's that dynamic, and it's fitting for right now, because I mean, right now rap and hip hop cultures is so universal that it's one of the biggest types of music you can listen to, and it attracts most people. So I feel like because of that, to some degree, we have a responsibility to make sure we put people in that right headspace. So I don't know, I feel like it's necessary right now. Yeah, so Foreplay was kind of a crazy experience. I ended up cooking up with this engineer by the name of Jeff, So probably about 3 years ago now, I was in school at the time and I was dealing with a situation with a female that was getting kind of complicated, but I didn't have a way of expressing it. So I hadn't been in the studio in a minute, and as soon as I got in with Jeff, I locked in and I was just like, bro, I gotta lay something down. And I wrote it and then dropped it right there, like not online, but I dropped it right there on the mic for him, and he was with it. We touched a few things up. A dope singer by the name of Emily Nolan, producer Jordo, and Jordo's from Massachusetts, but I found the beat online. And as soon as everything kind of came together, it was real organic. And I dropped it on SoundCloud first, and it did pretty well. It hit a couple mil on that. And for me, the people I looked up to in the city, it was kind of, it's not too many people that are pushing that bar. So when I saw that, I had a lot of respect for just in general the people that were respecting me, even coming from where I'm coming from. So it started off like that. I ended up dropping it on Spotify not too long ago, or probably about a year and a half ago now, and now we at close to like 50 mil. So it's just crazy how the world kind of works and how organic things can be when it's genuine. So that's why I just try to push this genuine music. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like I haven't officially released a full studio album. Charlie Eastern I look at as an EP, but I still look at it as a project. So like, I still want to get to that point where I can drop a full-length album and I know it's received the way I want it to be received. So just during that process and the times, like in the next couple of months and things like that, I'm just releasing more music and just making sure things are coming a little more fluent so people have a little more stuff to ride to. Because I'm sitting on a lot, but being able to have them just knock it religiously so the shows can be a little more fluent, that's where I'm at with it right now. Nah, so for me, I like things being real organic. A lot of people I work with, I consider family, and then when I'm not working with family, when I go and look for different types of music to just rock with and just collaborate with, a lot of times for me, it's more so the authenticity of where it's coming from and just people trying to grow and build and put themselves in a place too. I don't feel like I went and tried to reach for no crazy features from different people or things like that just because I'm trying to curate my sound and be able to give you my sound before you see me with something else so you understand what it is and you feeling it a little bit more impactful. One male right now, I say Pharrell. I feel like Pharrell real dope. I feel like we cook some crack. Female wise, probably SZA. I feel like I'm rocking with the way SZA's kind of vibing right now. I feel like we definitely will cook some dope stuff too. So definitely, that's on the radar for me. For me, it's like the comparisons I get to Cole. I never look at it as a reach or anything like that. Just because I'm from North Carolina, J. Cole is from North Carolina. So off top, I got a certain level of respect for what he's doing for the culture, especially down there, because it hasn't been done like that. So when people still put me in that category, because it's not something I intentionally do, it's more so it's me. So when people put me in that category, I can look at it as respect, because I mean, you put me as someone that I look at as one of the top people that's doing it in music, period, and I can't hate on a comparison of that, because that's not something I'm intentionally going for. But when I get it, it's all love. You feel me?
Yeah.
I mean, it all depends on the energy and the mood that I'm feeling as far as the stylistic points that come out through the music that I make. Just because, I mean, I'm a human, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes I can be up, sometimes I can be down, sometimes I can be in the studio, and just because I write a lot as well, so sometimes I can be in a vibe where it's on some dance hall, or it's on some different types of up stuff, or on some left field, or at the same time in my pocket where it's a little bit more conscious. Like, I like to be able to have all those different types of bags, just so, I don't know, you can always have a little bit more to listen to, and you don't feel like you're getting tired of a specific sound. So I never try to box myself in like that. Inspire me when I'm dressed. To be honest, I like to stay up in like times of culture, and I honestly like a lot of 90s style too. Sometimes a wash look, sometimes a more popish look, and then even people like someone might say like a Rocky, or just different people that are making waves like a Ye in today's culture. Like, I pay attention just because I got a knack for that too. So when I be seeing it, I be clocking.
Yeah.
You can like flex a little bit too, like.
Right now it's just like this vintage polo drip down, wash jeans. I don't know, some white forces, black shoestrings, bottoms in the mouth. Just not doing too much, just vibing. You know what I'm saying? It's more so some South type swag, just little drip. You feel me?
A little bit, yeah.
I feel like he's just in a place where he's figuring himself out. Not many people
For
can.
sure.
He's already to a point where not many people can say too much. So he's figuring himself out for himself. And I feel like, I mean, a lot of times in music, you're really just spectating and understanding what you can grab from it. So I feel like that's what Rocky is for the culture right now.
Do Do you think that people, like, not just him in general, but like rap in general, like the more popular artists, I'm not gonna name them, but do you think they're all like kind of fitting into like this mold?
To be honest, I don't feel like they get fit into this mold. I mean, I feel like depending on the genre or the style of hip hop you're talking about, like when you talk about mumble rap or just different categories and things like that, those can be a little bit more moldish, like kind of vibes to it. But at the same time, with how much hip hop is expanding, I feel like we're breaking molds. I don't feel like we're more so boxing ourselves in. I feel like we're being able to. You're starting to see upcoming artists be able to travel the world just because they have different styles of music that's that appealing. Before you couldn't do that. Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of just where the state of hip hop is right now, in my opinion.
I have a question. You said you started taking your art, like, or your music more seriously in college.
Yeah.
I think, like going to Tisch and like going to NYU, I think there's a lot of kids that are like that. Do you have any advice for artists in college that are like battling with that line between like, oh, should I like pursue this art or should I like go like the academic route or like the? So
for me, I mean, I graduated, but past that, don't be afraid to use your resources that are around you. So when I say that, I mean you can think the standard way of just like, oh, go do this, that, and the third, but like, you know, a lot of people. You go to a school that's this big, and you may not realize that, but like, you have access to a lot of people in a lot of different ways. So like, make sure you use those to your fullest resources, because once you understand how big that actually is, then you can start to determine like where you're at in the pace of it. Because I mean, if you don't really look at the broad scope of things, you could box yourself in and you almost dead yourself before you even get to that point. You know what I'm saying? So allow yourself to flourish and never really stop dreaming of taking that, because at the end of the day, you don't know what will be that thing, what extra little thing might take you over the edge to push you in that place. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's what I kind of experienced, because I don't. How I ended up putting myself in that place, it was all just off of work and not knowing what exactly it was, but a conglomerate of a lot of things. You feel me?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So do you believe in like separating the artist from the music, like being able to listen to an artist who like did get in trouble for doing these things and like these terrible things, and like are you able to listen to their music and like forget that, or do you kind of just like put it together and are not able to listen to their music because of the things that they've done?
I feel like it all depends on how much a relationship you have to that artist. Like, are you a fan of them, or are you like really listening to their music? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you look at their music as a reflection of them, or do you look at their music as a reflection of what their state of mind was at the time? And I feel like when you start to consider that, then you can have a more intentional opinion of that type of artist or the type of person. But I don't know, it's kind of difficult to judge people that quickly, you know what I'm saying, without knowing specifics. And then not just that, but like not really knowing everything that you need to know about that person. Or it's very difficult to judge someone transparently off of their music, because not every artist out is giving you that, you know what I'm saying? So just take that into consideration when you talk about people like that. Well, I feel like in general off of music, you have a certain responsibility to give people a certain level of energy that is necessary for them to be attracted to it off gate, you know what I'm saying? And past that, well, me specifically, I write my music for myself as well as for some of the people around me that may deal with certain things around me that may not always be a reflection of me, but maybe a reflection of their state, and be able to help them get to a place too. So I feel like just being conscious of that, as well as like, I don't know, just realizing that what you're putting out into the world, some people take that as literal. Just like I said, some people don't have that ability to look past and realize that the music may just be a reflection of their mindset. Some people take that literal. So when you take that literal and you start to understand that, and you continue to do that, understanding it might be doing harm, then you're in a different place. But it's also, I guess, to a degree, an artist's responsibility to let people know where they at with it. Like, let them know what to take from their music, and not just what to take, but I don't know, the different grounds you could take from it and what their intent is. So I feel like, I don't know, that's where the shows come in, and you start to feel the artist a little bit more, to understand where they're at and take them from a personal standpoint. So
do you feel like your music is an absolute representation of who you are?
I would say so, yeah. The different things that I go through, the different things that my friends go through, and I consider my friends a part of myself as well, just because their emotions affect me at times. So the different things that we all may go through as a conglomerate of different people around me, I think it's a reflection of me, because they are what make me as well as myself, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I consider it's real.
Do you ever feel like people misinterpret who you are because of your music?
I mean, sometimes you can, but I feel like naturally every artist deals with that, because you may hear one song and somebody will take you as that person from that one song, but that's just one emotion, that's just one time period in someone's life that they were dealing with. So when you don't know someone like that, it can just get a little bit sticky to a point where you got to understand how to approach people, but know that you don't know them as well, you know? I mean, I personally like it. I feel like we got a lot of dope people coming out the South right now, and like, I rep the South Side personally, even in QC and everything like that in Charlotte. So like, past that, all of North Carolina got some dope fire artists on the way. Atlanta got some dope people, like Tennessee, a lot of just dope people from the South is coming up right now. So it's ill to see, and I feel like the culture's just thriving right now down South. So I'm curious to see where we're gonna be at in like a year's time, or even by the end of this year, just with the different types of music people got dropping. So it's gonna be a place. Well, I don't feel like it's my complete responsibility to speak on politics and speak on different opinions of my peers that could be that impactful on someone else's life. I don't feel like it's my responsibility to do that. I feel like it's my responsibility to give the energy that it gives me at times. So when I'm in a place and that's what we're talking about, or that's what has been on my mind, and I speak on it just because that's my personal opinion, that may be a reflection of my reality at the moment. But I don't look at my platform as the only thing that I can, or the only reason I have this platform is to make sure that I'm speaking as critically as the politicians you may see on CNN and things like that. I don't feel like that's my role. I feel like my role just in general is to give you the energy that I deal with and the energy that's necessary to push people throughout the day. And then when it comes to that point where I feel like I'm dealing with something and I feel like it should relate to the people that are around me, then I'll put it in the music. But I feel like it's very situational with those things like that. I don't feel like that's my full intent with it. You feel me?
Yeah.
I don't know. One of my goals right now that I got just hanging up there in the clouds is I want a Grammy at some point, and I don't know how long that's gonna take. But that's one thing I'm definitely chasing after as well. Is it drives me throughout the day, just pushing the different music that I push, just being as critical as I am, just because. I don't know, I want to do that for my city, I want to do that for my team, I want to do that for the people around me, and I feel like it'd be something special, and just making that type of impactful music, that's always what I push and strive for. So that's something I look at as a goal. I feel like the best advice I could give someone that's up and coming is truthfully to trust yourself, because at the end of the day, the best music relays when you're that vulnerable with yourself that you feel comfortable putting yourself in that atmosphere. So a lot of times I feel like things that I struggled with early was dealing with the fact that, dang, well, I mean, is this person gonna like it? When you start to care too much about things like that and you're worried about that more than your own peace of mind, it doesn't allow you to flourish where you're meant to flourish. So even coming down to being as critical, no one's gonna be as critical about your work than you are. So knowing that, also have an understanding that someone's words may not be as impactful to them as it is to you when you're in that vulnerable state, and making sure your work is at that place. So just really just being firm-minded and trusting yourself, because you could drop a song and tell somebody a month before you want to drop it, they have so many different critiques on it, then you drop it, and after you drop it, they like, oh, yo, that's fire. And who, like, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna deal with you mentally. You're not supposed to deal with that. Just being more firm-minded. Yeah.
What is your favorite song currently?
My favorite song currently. Heard It Look Your Way by Ray Sherman. I feel like that's a dope song right now. I just been vibing with that.
What do you think about Power Glide?
Power Glide is dope too. Yeah, Power Glide is dope.
But okay, that's just like our song. So like,
Yeah, nah,
I had to ask.
It's really like
So my zodiac sign is a Virgo. Yeah, straightforward with it.
Do you think it's an accurate representation?
To be honest, I'm not too big into like zodiac signs and what they mean and things like that, so I can't say if it's an exact representation of me or not.
Okay. What is your favorite snack or candy?
Favorite candy? I say my favorite candy probably Smarties. Realistic. Yeah.
Dang.
Okay.
I've never heard that as a favorite.
Me neither.
It's different, but yeah, that's me. It's not early. I'm kind of like a little sugar fiend on the low. So I don't know. Hey, what's poppin'? I'm Jalen Santoy. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, and this is Disruptive Magazine.